Hollow Knight Silksong is finally here, guys. 8 long years that gamers have been waiting for it, and for most people, it's living up to the hype. I live streamed it the other day. I think it's an excellent, cute little game that's very hard and challenging, but we'll talk about that when I review it. But apparently in China, the reviews for this game are tanking. Yeah, you heard me right. In China, as Donald Trump would say, the reviews are tanking, and it's not because of the gameplay, but because of translation. What? Why would the translation for a game be causing it to get review bombed? Well, it's a perfect example of how even a small mistake, an itty bitty mistake in localization, can blow up into a full PR fire for a gaming studio. So let's break this down. Let's talk about what happened, why it matters, and why I don't think Team Cherry deserves to be getting buried over this. So here's the situation, guys. When Silksong launched, the simplified Chinese translation turned out to be pretty bad. Now, I don't speak Chinese, but this is what's going on. This is the story here. Apparently, the dialogue was clunky, names didn't make sense, and some of the writing came across as mocking or awkwardly poetic. I guess it just didn't feel right. Almost kind of, I guess, like AI did it to a point. So Chinese players who apparently been waiting for years, and again, like I said, 8 years for the sequel, suddenly felt disconnected from the world that they loved. You know, the world from Hollow Knight. And they started review bombing the game on Steam, which is a big yikes because Steam reviews, whether you like it or not, generally take the direction of a game, whether it's successful or unsuccessful. If people see mixed reviews, bad reviews, it literally causes people to decide not to play a game. Steam reviews hold a lot of weight, guys. Now, I absolutely get it. If you waited several years for this release, you're counting the days for Silksong, and the very first thing that you see is broken text in your language, that would kill the mood. Let's be honest, but at the same time, I really feel for Team Cherry here. They're a small indie studio, guys. This ain't Capcom. This ain't even Ubisoft slop, right? They are a small indie studio. They can't possibly vet every translation in every language out there. You hire people, you trust them to do the job, and sometimes, like in this case, that trust backfires. I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to check if my Chinese translator was doing it right. In fact, I know the AI generator for subtitles, or I guess dubs on YouTube, can be wrong at times. I remember I tried to do a helpful thing by putting my videos in Spanish, auto-generated dubs, and people were laughing about it because it was incorrect. So it actually could cause a bad impression if your dubs are wrong. And this is what happened with the translation with Team Cherry's Silksong. So let's talk about why this matters, guys, and why it's important for game studios to understand this. Localization isn't just an extra step anymore. Remember back in the day it was, oh, let's bring the game from Japan and translate it to English and call it a day, right? It's basically core to the experience now because gaming is more worldwide. It's more socially acceptable. More people are playing it. When a game launches worldwide day one, it needs to feel authentic in every region because people from all over are going to be playing it. If the translation feels cheap or if it feels careless, it just doesn't hurt the immersion of it, right? It literally damages the game's reputation in the entire market. And like I said, Steam reviews go a long way with steering the direction if people buy a game or not. They see a whole bunch of bad reviews, it's a big yikes for them. Think about it. If there's an RPG from Japan, right, that launches here in the United States and it has broken English in it, or English, as we used to say back in the non-political correct days, we would roast the hell out of it. Don't you remember, like, the original Metal Gear said, "I feel asleep"? And then that one game said, "all your bases belong to us," or whatever. Those were bad translations that have since become historical meme-worthy translations, but you get the point, all right? It doesn't matter if the game is good. And in this instance with Silksong, it's not getting review bombed because the game was bad. It's a fantastic game, albeit pretty hard, but we'll talk about that when I get to my review of it eventually. But because the words on the screen pull this out of the world, this magical world that just looks nice, hand-drawn, artistic, creative. That's exactly what Chinese fans are experiencing with Silksong. They're getting taken out of it because they can't read it properly. The translation has been jacked up from the floor up, and it takes them out of the experience, and they're not enjoying it. And I guess apparently they take their translations very seriously. So here's the drama, guys. Let's talk about the translator drama, which, to make things worse, apparently there's reports that one of the translators may have broken NDA and even relied on machine translation before rewriting things in this weird, awkward, pseudo-classical Chinese style. So there's some narrator drama or translator drama here. That's rough, okay? And again, it's not Team Cherry that's maliciously cutting corners here. It was the translator that did it, right? It's more like they put their trust into the wrong person, and now the backlash is landing squarely on them because it's Team Cherry that made the game, right? Nobody cares if it's some random translator that ruined it and didn't even do their job properly. So all this drama that's going on behind the scenes with it, breaking NDA, not even going with it properly, using a machine translator and stuff, that's bad. I hope they out it. If I was Team Cherry, I would absolutely out who this translator is and make sure that they don't get work, because I'm petty like that. I'm absolutely 110% petty like that. So here's the bigger picture, guys. Mistakes were made. This wasn't malice in any way. Luckily, I haven't seen anybody in the United States clowning on this game, except aside from the hard difficulty. Nobody's mentioned the reviews in a negative light. I've seen people covering the reviews, talking about it and giving their side. Let's be real here, guys. Again, like I said, this was a mistake. It wasn't some kind of act of laziness or disrespect on Team Cherry's behalf. The fact that Team Cherry already acknowledged this problem and is working on a fix shows that they care. This goes a long way. You got to remember, they're a small studio, and honestly, when you look at how many languages they launched in, I think they had, English, Chinese, Spanish, French, Russian, Korean. Like, that's 5 right there. And it's actually insane how much they pulled off with such a small team. Again, this is a small indie studio. That deserves credit ultimately. And especially with the love and care. And you remember, there was a post going around recently where when this game was first announced, Reddit was actually trashing Hollow Knight. When Hollow Knight was first announced 8 years ago or so, they were trashing it, saying it just looked like some other generic 2D side-scroller that there's already tons of on all the consoles and stuff. This literally, Silksong, crashed all of the stores. The eShop, the Xbox store, the PlayStation store, the Steam store. It's literally a $20 game that's proving AAA woke slop wrong, right? So here's why it's important. Let's talk about it real quick. I'm sure most of you guys are in favor with the game anyway, but I want to give my take, right? This is one of the growing pains moments for a small studio. Most small studios make a lot of mistakes like this. It doesn't make Silksong a bad game at all. It's far from it, actually, but it does highlight how fragile global launches could be when translation goes wrong. Again, Steam reviews carry a lot of weight. Imagine if the eShop had reviews on it. I don't think it does. One bad localization can completely skew an entire region away from your game. Imagine how many Chinese players are going on Steam and seeing Silksong has negative reviews from China. That's going to be a huge audience that might take that into account when buying this game or not. Now, I think Team Cherry personally will fix this pretty quickly. I think they're too good of a studio not to, but it is a reminder for all developers out there that localization isn't optional. Now, this day and age, it's not optional. You have to do it. For us players, it's a good reminder that sometimes review bombs aren't about the gameplay at all. So when you look at your scores on Steam to whether you're going to buy a game or not, click it. Click those. Actually read what the people are complaining about. Because imagine if you just blindly looked and you said, oh, there's a lot of mixed reviews, negative reviews. That means the game sucks, and then you just didn't buy it. You're going to be missing out on great experiences like that. They're about little details, right? You got to read those little details on legitimate reviews because they could make or break immersion. Like this translation thing could make or break a game. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, Silksong is still incredible. It's a fantastic game. Once this gets patched, I think most of the negativity will blow over, but I think it is a lesson worth learning. Even great games can stumble if the translation doesn't land right. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I just thought this was interesting because I saw this headline going around. I was like, how in the world could this possibly get review bombed? I've heard it's such a great game. I was on Scooby Pup, shout out to Scooby Pup's podcast, where we talked about that it was getting review bombed. I'm like, what? This is news to me. So I checked it out, checked a few other people's videos, wanted to give my take. What are your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys? Hit that like button or the dislike. do something, engage. Don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.